Good evening, everyone. How is everybody doing tonight? Let me just fix my shit over here. Hold on. Okay, there we go. How's it going in the chat? I see everybody's already in the chat. A couple of you at least. Better than nothing. I expect there to be at least a couple. How is my connection? Because I'm not the main streamer for Boundless Gamers, and you know when David's not around, I have to call an audible, and I gotta run everything. So I always feel like everything is just barely holding on. So I'm gonna need you guys to let me know if anything goes wrong, because I'd appreciate that. Whether it's with the audio, if I'm too loud, if I'm out of sync, whatever it is. And okay, that's good to know. Ooh, it's a new person in the chat. Raider, who's Raider? I don't know Raider. Raider6672, welcome. Are you from one of the groups we're in? The Boundless Gamers group or the oh, you're Chase. Okay. Thank you. I told somebody to write down the names for me, and I keep forgetting to do that because I have a bad time remembering who's who when I see the screen names. So a few of these are easy because like Jason has his actual name in his account, his Twitch account, so it's simple for me to figure out who that is. But yes, okay, hold on. I just got a message. It has something to do with the Spider-Man. Actually, I shouldn't have said that. I mean the Sony post giveaway poll thing that George posted. Let's see, what do we have here? All right, well, I can at least confirm that I can't say who won yet because I haven't hit the name generator thing on my phone yet, which I will do later. But the game that got the most votes was Spider-Man Miles Morales. It was pretty close between God of War and Spider-Man for a little while. Then all of a sudden, Spider-Man went up. So it is what it is. So the last giveaway George ran in the group, everybody picked Spider-Man Remastered, and now Spider-Man Miles Morales won. So yes, we will be giving that game out tonight. He doesn't have the code yet, but whoever wins, you will get your code later. So no worries. Can somebody confirm for me if my mouth is delayed or anything? I'm looking at OBS, and OBS lies to me. It's not very accurate sometimes. I'm looking at my feed, and it seems a bit off. It looks fine. Okay, perfect. All right, that's good to know. Oh, never mind. I just got the code. So the code is ready and locked in, ladies and gentlemen. I cannot reveal the winner yet. I'm going to do that later in the show. But that's not all for games. I am going to give one person in the chat tonight a random Steam game, which I don't know what it is yet. I'll figure that out later. And I'll be announcing the next 2 Boundless Gamer giveaway games that we're going to do. And next Sunday, we'll announce the winners. Can't reveal those yet either. So start guessing. Well, I know Jason knows, so I don't want you saying anything. You said boo Spider-Man. Welcome to the chat, Paw. That's Jessica, right? Yes. I'm getting better with the names. I'm getting better at remembering. Let's see. Raider said I really enjoyed playing Spider-Man. Which one? Or did you play all of them? Because there's a bunch. Well, there's 3 from Insomniac. We know there's at least one more coming, and there's the Venom game as well on top of that. We know that because of the leaks that happened over at Insomniac. But let me address the elephant in the room right now. I'm by myself because David is very under the weather right now, and hold on, I gotta fix my camera. Let's see. Okay, that's a little better. Yeah, he's not doing well. He was sick all week, and I figured I was going to be the one to be the leader, the host, by myself. Now, I could have gotten somebody else. I could have gotten Jacques. Jacques offered. However, he told me that earlier today, and I didn't set everything up for 2 people, and I'm really not good when it comes to using OBS. So I was like, all right, if that happens again next week, then I have to set up one for 2 or 3 people for next week. But he should be okay by then. So I know you're going to be listening to this later, David. Feel better, man, and take it easy. I don't want you pushing yourself. All right. So first things first, how's everybody doing tonight? Because when I woke up this morning, it's not even related to this evening, but when I woke up this morning, I had my left leg curled all the way up, like bent in a weird way. I can't even explain. It was like almost like picture this is my body. This is my foot. It was bent all the way back, like I was laying on it. And as I moved it forward, I had the most terrible muscle cramp in my thigh that I've ever experienced in my life. It literally felt like somebody was jabbing a knife and just going up and down into it. I could literally see one of the muscles like bulging out. So I don't know what happened while I was sleeping. I usually don't do a lot of moving around when I'm sleeping. At least that's what I've been told. I'm usually like stiff as a board and I don't move. But that wasn't the case this time. But that was painful. Like I don't want to experience that again. And I get like all kinds of spasms and weird painful feelings in the stomach, but that was something very different. It's been sore all day, but I can walk. That's I'll live. It was painful, yes, and I'm not exaggerating. It was really painful. Ugh. I just hope that doesn't happen again when I wake up. Anyways, let's see. Well, we have a lot of things to talk about tonight. You see the title, which I'm not going to get into right away. Gaming for mental wellness. I'm going to kind of get into how gaming really does a lot for us than just providing entertainment, which it does. I love video games and all that, but it really is like a really good escape and all that, and it really does a lot of good for our head up here. You know what? What the hell? I'm already talking about it. Let's just get right into it. Usually I save our main topic for later, but I'm by myself and there's no rules here. By the way, someone sent me a message on my phone. It's like, who's that character in the corner? Like right here? Does anybody know who that is in the chat? Clearly it's a Star Wars character because you can see a lightsaber right there. Who is that? Does anybody know? I know, Jason, you might know, so don't say it. But if somebody can guess who that is, then you are a hardcore nerd of that story. Maybe. No clue. I've never seen Star Wars. Really? You've never seen any of them? The original? Prequel? Well, the sequel, that's fine. You don't have to watch those, but none at all. Really? Wow. It's not really that shocking, actually. It took me forever to see some of the most amazing films that I consider some of the most amazing films. I don't mean Star Wars. I just meant amazing movies in general. It took me sometimes, I'd say like 10 to 15 years for some movies for me to get around to watching them. So that's I can understand that. Jason said gaming is the cause of all violence. No, it's I know you're joking. No, it's definitely not. But yeah, so when it comes to just everyday life and everything that everybody's going through, it could be something even minor, horrific, whatever. All stuff gets to us. It like smashes over our heads and it really weighs us down. And I know this is kind of like a touchy, serious subject. So we're not going to get too serious here. But I know I've been talking to a few off. Well, a few days ago, the reason why I decided to do this because a few days ago, I made that post. I'm sure you saw it. Had Master Chief and wow, blanking, Aloy from Horizon series, comforting just a person who's like looks like they're going through like a really rough time. And I was talking to quite a few privately about that, and they're just kind of sharing what they're going through, which I'm not going to talk about here, so don't worry. And it just made me, it was on my mind like all week long. So that's why we're talking about this tonight. Which, by the way, hey, how's it going, Alona? How's it going, 63? Nice to see you. Thank you for joining. It's just Sarah said, "Is it Ahsoka or Shaq?" No, that is not Ahsoka. It's Kreia, aka Darth Treya. Anyway, that's besides the point. Let me get back to what I was saying. So I'll get into me because I don't mind sharing about me. I'm not gonna talk about everything about myself, but I will share some of my life experiences with video games and how it's kind of helped me. So there's been many times where I'll just jump straight into it. There are moments where I almost turned the lights off for myself back in the day. I'll just keep it as light as that. I'm not going to go say actual words or anything, but there was a few times where I got pretty close to doing that. And gaming kind of stopped me from doing that. And one of the reasons I think video games keeps you engaged. You can get lost in a universe for hundreds of hours, depending on what kind of a game you're playing. Especially if you're playing something like an open world, heavy, rich story like The Witcher or Mass Effect or whatever. And when I was going through those hard moments, gaming kind of made me want to see what comes next and want to see what comes next. Like I just finished the second game. Well, I want to see the third game. And believe it or not, something as small and minor as that prevented me from like wanting to, because I like to see how things progress. I like to see how things finish. I like to see how technology advances. And there's just those little things like that. And gaming really, just for me personally, like it's always like, no, don't think like that. Here, have a good time. Enjoy this. Take your mind off whatever you're on. Enjoy this fantasy world or whatever. So I know a lot of people have told me this, how it's kind of saved them in one way or another. It really did for me. So when I hear people kind of going through whatever they're going through, like, you know, it doesn't have to be gaming. It could be just something. I've noticed, for me at least, keeping your mind distracted on something really seems to help with your mental state. So that is something I always tell people to do. I'm not saying it's going to work, and I'm not saying this is all you got to do and you don't need any other help or anything. But when I hear, at least from my own personal experience, when I hear people going through something and they're thinking those kind of thoughts, I just say you have to keep yourself busy with something, whether it's a hobby, whether it's whatever, something that you either enjoy doing or it's something where you like to help, whatever it might be that helps others. And I do think that will put you in a better mood overall. So I'm not saying, hey, I mean, if you need help, like if you really need that extra help, yeah, go talk with somebody. Even if you're too afraid to even go to a psychiatrist, which you should, if you think you need that, you really should. But at the bare minimum, talk to somebody, because there's always somebody around to listen. Of course, pick the right person to talk to. You don't want to pick someone who's gonna use you or mess with you in any sort of a negative way. But like, you do want to keep someone's always at arm's reach. That's my point. Whether it's a friend, it could even be a random person. I'm not saying go out to talk to some random person, but I have seen situations. I remember, actually happened to me. I was in the supermarket, and I noticed I was going through a really bad day. I don't even remember exactly what it was, but I just remember the feeling of just really going through something. And I think I know what that is. I don't want to talk about it, but while I was picking out some yogurt in the dairy section, it must have been all over my face because somebody right next to me just was like, they looked over like, "You're good?" I was like, what do you mean? He's like, "You look like something's bothering you. You want to talk?" He's like, I'm like, no, not really. But he's like, well, that's fine. But I could just tell, like, I've had that face, and if there is something bothering you, it doesn't have to be me, but like, you should talk to someone later. And then they just left. So that was just some random person giving me advice. Never met them again. They just came out and said that. So, but when I hear of people saying they use video games to kind of cope with whatever stress they're going through, anxiety, depression, it can help. And I really, really hate when people say video games leads to cause violence and all the shootings and all that, which is so absurd when I hear that, because there's something wrong in that person's head. It doesn't matter what they were viewing, what they were watching, whatever, that's in here and they need help. So there's hundreds of millions of normal people who watch and play the same content and they don't do anything after watching. I don't watch a movie and be like, you know what? That scene where he used the M16, I want to go get one. Heck, maybe I'll start shooting. It don't work like that. It doesn't. There's so many people who have firearms who are perfectly normal, functioning adults. So that's not it. The root cause is up here, and that's why a lot of that stuff happens. I mean, everybody just likes to blame something because it's easier. You don't want to actually address the problem. But anyway, I'm going to get to the comments right now. And I know some of you left me some things to read. I will pull that up as well. But I do want to hear from you guys. Like, how does gaming help you deal with things? Does it help you deal with stuff? Or how and if you don't use gaming to kind of help you or distract you, what do you usually do if you're feeling really stressed out, depressed, or whatever? Like, what is the thing that uplifts your spirits and makes you continue on and get back into that better headspace? So let's see. I'm going to scroll back up. Okay, let's see. I'm sorry. There's a lot of comments here, so I'm kind of going through. Okay. I figured, Alona said, I figured you knew I'm always here if you need someone to talk to. Oh, yes, I appreciate that. 1,000%. And, same to you. If you need someone to talk to, I can, I'm a good listener. I got a good ear. Let's see. 63 says, yes, sir. Staying busy is key. That's what's worked for me. And doing stuff for others that's another thing. Doing stuff for others is what really puts me in a much better frame of mind. It's a very like a charitable spirit. So definitely pursue that. And I'm not talking about stuff we're doing on Balance Gamers. I mean, like, if you ever looked at charity, or if you ever wanted to help a shelter or something, or somewhere, wherever you are, maybe look into that, because you're going to be surprised how you're going to feel after doing something like that. But George says, sorry for being late. How's it going, George? Welcome to chat. And George also said, games helped me when I was grieving my dad when he passed away. Yeah, that's a rough thing to deal with. And I've had family members pass. Yeah. I mean, it's, once again, in that situation, what did I do? I played Fallout 3 to be specific. It was 2008. That game hit at like the perfect time. Like, go into the wasteland of Washington, D.C. in the year 2020, whatever it was, and go nuts. Explore, get lost, see what's going on. And those games are, I mean, any game can help, but those games are really amazing for that. If you really want to get lost in something, play an open world RPG. you're in a whole other universe for a little while. And yeah. Loney said, my B-Day has been tough than the last few years. Since my siblings get parties, etc., but I always get forgotten, so depression sets in. Unfortunately, it's coming up again on Tuesday. You know, I've said this before on the show. I will say it again. I've never had one of those, so I don't know how to relate to that. But I do know the feeling of feeling like you're pushed to the side or left out. And, it's for me, that did bother me for the longest time. But then I was just like, you know what? Whatever. Like, I'll keep myself entertained during all that. I mean, I don't need others to kind of rally up to do something for me. But I know some of you do like that stuff. And my best advice is try not to just think about it. Let it slide. I know it's rough, but dwelling on it is not going to make it any better. That's what I tell myself. So, like, if there's something that's bothering me just thinking about it's not going to make it any better. So, Alona says, I game or listen to music. Same. Or both at the same time. Hold on. Did we just lose connection for a second? My screen kind of went idle, and I just caught that. I think we're good. We're good, right? Yeah. I must have forgot my screensaver must be on 15 or 20 minutes. I'll have to keep an eye on that. Anyways. Let's see, what do we got? Paul, you said, that's Jessica. You already know I'm blind, and it distracts me from being alone 24/7 because I can't go out. Yeah. I just found that out earlier. I noticed you left a comment, which is one of the comments I have here that I'm going to read some of you guys, some of your thoughts about this. And I saw that, and I'm sorry you have to deal with that. But something just popped into my brain. Sean, I won't say his last name, different Sean, actually. The Sean that's spelled SEAN, that's in the Balanced Gamers group, he gave me a bunch of keys not that long ago. And one of the games is called, I'm already forgetting the name, I think it's called The Blind Legend. This specific game, which you could correct me, Jessica, if I got the name right or not, I can't remember because I have a 5-second memory. That game is specifically designed to be played with just headphones. That's it. There is no visual anything. You don't see anything. The entire game, it's like an action RPG, I think. All surrounding around sound. It's a game specifically made for people who have that condition. And when I saw that, now we had 2 copies. I gave 1 copy to somebody else to test the game out. I probably should have been the one to test it out, but I gave it to someone else to test it out. And he said, yeah, like you actually have to, like, that's the whole, I don't know exactly how I remember he told me how like the button presses worked and everything. I don't remember exactly what he said, but yeah, the 3D audio of the game, it's all based off that. And when I heard that, I looked the game up. Came out in 2016, and it only has like 180 reviews on there on Steam. Good rating, but very, very low review score there. I mean, low number of reviews. And I kind of want to reach out to those guys and just to thank them and congratulate them for putting something like that out, because while there is a lot of games, and Sony's really good at doing this, and there's others who are good at doing this, they have a lot of accessibility options for various different conditions, and they have some for even that. But you don't see really any games coming out that's specifically audio only. Like, when I heard that, I'm like, really? That's a thing? Like, it is. So I do think more I want to reach out to these guys and actually talk to them because they've made other games, but this one really, I looked at their list and there's some cool other games they worked on, but this one in particular just hit me. I'm like, nobody's doing that. If there is somebody else doing it, or if there are a few more, it's got to be. We could probably count them on our two hands. Like there can't be that many. So that shocked me. Like that was insane. So I gave Jessica a copy of that game. So I can't wait to hear your thoughts about it because I want to know if it's something that really should be shared more with others and who experience the same condition that you have. And if it is, I'll even say it doesn't have to be an amazing game. Like if it's like okay or above average, good enough, that is enough for me. I don't know how to judge a game only based off sound. So I'm probably going to pick this game up just so I can have a better understanding of it and how the game functions. So I'm going to actually do that after I get off the show. I'm going to buy myself a copy of this game and I'm going to play it. And then next week, next week I'll talk about it. One of you in the chat just remind me to do that after the show is over because I'll forget. But yeah, that's tough, Jessica. I'm sorry you're dealing with that. George, you said, I have been dealing with panic and anxiety for the past 9 years, and gaming has helped me in different ways besides therapy. Yeah, I mean, you could even say, like, it even swings the other way. It swings the other way. Like, let's say you're really angry and frustrated, and you don't want to do anything stupid. You don't want to punch your fist into the wall or anything like that. So my recommendation, like what my games I recommend when you're feeling like that, doesn't have to be a shooter, doesn't have to be something like mature content, but play a game that has some sort of a versus component to it. It could literally be chess. I'm versing somebody else. When I've felt like that and I played those type of games, it seems to just calm me down and turn all that off. And then whatever I'm feeling is kind of focused in on that game, and then it goes away, it evaporates. Once again, that's just me. So, Captain Chill is me. You're in the chat. How's it going? How's it going, Captain? You doing good? I'm just noticing some new names popping in. So, hey, I see Jim. You just popped in. I will get to your comment in a second. I want to make sure I don't miss any of these. I've already missed a few, but no, I'm trying my best here. So, but yeah, when you're in that kind of a mood, play a game where you're versing something. It could be a shooter. Doesn't have to be. You could play a sports game, 5v5 online or whatever. Just play some sort of a versus mode. It'll help. Trust me. Maybe it won't do jack shit for you, but it's advice at the very least. You can try it. 63 said sports, prayer, music. My kids, movies, reading, St. Francis prayer, doing for others. Touche. Yeah. Do for others. You know, there is, I'm not going to get all biblical here, but there is because I know I'm not going to make anybody feel uncomfortable, but there is one quote. There is one quote from the Bible that I know even hardcore atheists quote. So that should say something. It's, I don't know. I hope I have the wording right, but it's, there's more happiness in giving than there is in receiving. That is literally one of my favorite quotes, period. It's up there with, what's that other quote? We're either alone in the universe or we're not alone. Both are equally terrifying. I'm sure I butchered that. Love that one. Very sci-fi. That's one of my favorite. But yeah, so what 63 is saying, you know, doing for others, that last part of his comment, that has dramatically made my mental state in a much better place. I can't even begin to tell you how much that helps you. So what doesn't matter what it is, you could literally be as simple as maybe even doing something for your neighbor if you see them having a hard time or something. Maybe they can't walk to their garbage pail. Maybe they have an injury or they can't do it. Maybe they're aged or a little too old. Go grab the pail and bring it over to their house. I've did that for somebody once, and they thanked the hell out of me. So, little things like that. Doesn't have to be something massive. You don't have to do something crazy big. You can if you want, but, the little things in life like that will make you feel better. It makes them feel better, and they appreciate the help, and it puts your head in a better place. So that's what I keep telling people. Even the little things matter. Let's see. Sarah said exercise reduces anxiety or depression. Yes. Sometimes a long walk is what I suggest. It could be running, it could be whatever form of exercise. It could be going to the gym, lifting, whatever. But that is another thing that really does help. Go for a long walk, then play some games, and you'll forget about whatever you're dealing with for a little bit at least. Let's see. Raider said, I lost my son 3 years ago. Gaming was the only thing I could do to get through it. I'm sorry to hear that, man. That's rough. May I ask what kind of video games were you playing during that time? And the reason why I ask is to tell others, who are going through who've gone through a similar situation or are going through a similar situation. I can't talk tonight. I apologize. Yeah, I'm curious. Like, were you playing RPGs or was it just any game? Was it something simple? The reason why I'm asking that because I'm noticing a certain connection, and there's a reason why I mentioned The Witcher and Mass Effect earlier. When I hear somebody going through something really bad, they mention those kind of games. Because the games are designed to suck you into the world and you're not going to want to leave it for a while. Also, the same thing goes for people who play a lot of virtual reality, which that's literally transporting into another universe at that point. Literally. Almost. But yeah, I'm curious what games you play, man. Jason said, Skyrim is my game to get lost in. I still mess around with it. Cool. That's a good one. Let's see. 63 said, I had to stop reliving the past and dwelling and going there. Long story short, lost both parents early on in life, grew up in foster care. Addiction, poverty, abuse plagued my childhood. Now I'm blessed with a family, home, newborn 2 weeks old. That's good to hear, man. And now work for the child welfare system. And as you said, focus on helping others. Getting outside of myself to help others has always worked for me. Telling you, that's, like I said, everybody walks down these paths differently. But helping others, of all the things I've tried, even gaming helps. But that one right there is the biggest, helping others. That has done way more for me than even video games. I'm really sorry to hear that you lost your parents that early, man. That's, I can't relate. I didn't have that situation, but it's great to hear that you're doing great now and you're working in the child welfare system. That's doing a lot of good there. So like really keep up with that. And I hope there's just brighter days for you ahead. Jessica said, I will let you know how it is for me. Okay, thank you. Yes, I'm very curious. I want to know about that game. Because if it's good, I'm going to play it. And if I think it's good, I'm going to reach out to those developers. Seriously, I'll reach out to them. Tell them how amazing, what an amazing job they did, and please make another one. Or maybe they did. I'm going to have to do a little bit more research on them later, but yeah. Oh, George V2 is in the chat. Look at that. There he is. That is the one, ladies and gentlemen, who did the poll for the giveaway. George V2. I have to call him George V2 because we have two Georges in the chat, and I'm going to get really confused if I don't do that. So George V2 wants to hook up the community again. And like I said earlier, Spider-Man is the game. Spider-Man Miles Morales is... I don't know why I keep jerking with my camera. Sorry about that. Spider-Man Miles Morales is the game that won the poll. And I do have a winner here. We're going to get to that later. But how's it going, George? And he said, love the God of War hoodie, Mike. Yes. This was actually sent to me by my co-founding partner of Balanced Gamers, Jacques. I'm sure you've seen him in the group. He's been more active in it lately, which is awesome. You'll be seeing a little bit more of him. He'll be coming back on the show soon. He wants to come back on. He probably will be back on in... I'm not sure about next week. If not next week, most likely the week after that. Next week, we actually have a guest, which I don't know if she's watching right now, but Cobra Girl. Really, really cool person. She wanted to come on, and you know what? Real quick, I am going to shout her out, which I finally figured out how to do that. Told you it takes me a while to figure shit out. So I'm going to shout her out. And hold on, let's see if I do this right. Let's see, can Mike figure this out? I think her screen name is very easy to remember, so let's see if that works. There you go. Like, I did it. It's up there. Wow, I'm learning. I'm getting better. But yeah, give her a follow. It's a real nice person. Very, very nice. We got some other people coming on towards the end of the month and next month as well. I can't reveal who they are yet, but Cobra will be on with us next week. And we're going to talk about a whole bunch of random shit. And I'm sure she's going to want to ask stuff about David, because she likes Call of Duty. David worked on Call of Duty for reals. So hopefully, Cobra, I know you're going to be listening to this later. I don't want you to get all around David. Let's not do that. Call of Duty's cool, but let's act a little professional here. Let's see. Let me go back up. I'm sorry. But yeah, give her a follow. I would really appreciate that. Anyways, back to the chat. Get a cat. That helps too. That's what Alona said. Yeah, animals, pets. Have a cat in your lap while playing a game and drinking a warm cup of tea and listening to some soothing music. And if you're not a cat lover, well, then get another animal. If you don't like animals, get a spider. Get a tarantula. George V1, who's in the chat, had a tarantula when he was younger. A pet tarantula. Just walking freely around the house. I don't think I could do that personally. I'd be kind of done for there. I'd be very tempted to grab a book. And no, okay, I wouldn't smash a tarantula, but I would definitely toss it outside. I wouldn't be able to handle that. I have a fear of spiders. I can't do that. And I know it's not your average spider, but to me, at that point, it looks like it's from another planet. It's too big. I don't want to be anywhere near it. I don't know why I'm going off on that. Sorry. Let's see. Alona said, play Wargrove 1 and 2. You'll feel better and be lost for hours. I don't think I know what that is. It sounds familiar, but I don't know. Or I'd look it up, but I don't want to mess with my stream, because I'm running this whole thing through the Steam Deck, believe it or not. That's what's running this show right now. My laptop sucks. All I have right now is a Steam Deck. So that, you got to do what you got to do. Let's see. Jessica said, I've bought food for a guy who got stuck 2 hours from home and talked to him while he waited for his ride. So that's awesome. I love hearing that. Most people wouldn't even remotely... I don't want to say most people. Let's just say a lot of people wouldn't remotely even think of doing something like that. So that's awesome you did that. Very nice. Let's see, Jason said, I like to run over people on the boardwalk in GTA 5. That's always good times. Well, maybe it's a video game, and if that keeps your mind off things, I guess have fun. Let's see, Alona, I gave my only winter coat to a homeless person. He was cold, so I took mine off and gave it to him. Did I do that once? Oh, I did offer my jacket once to someone who was really cold outside, but they didn't want it. But yeah, they waved me off. Probably thought I was trying to rob them or something, which I can't really blame anybody for feeling like that, because you have to be careful with people. So yeah, it is what it is. But yes, gaming has done a lot for me. And like I said earlier, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for video games. I'm being straight with you. I'm not going to make this sound any nicer or anything. I would not be here physically doing this right now if it wasn't for video games, because I've been down that dark path a couple times and it wasn't a pleasant journey. Got off that road and don't see myself ever going back there, but you know, just kind of surround yourself with good people and distract yourself, and just know that as while there's a lot of bad stuff in the world, there's also a lot of good stuff. We kind of need to focus more on the good stuff, because I know the news doesn't like to do that, because that don't sell. People want to see shit blow up. People want to see bad things. I mean, it drives ratings up. That's just how we are. It's that old saying, 10,000 people can do 10,000 people can do amazing things for humankind, but it only takes one person to do something really horrible and everybody pays attention to it, unfortunately. So thousands of amazing things go unnoticed. That's just how life is, unfortunately. Jim said, sorry, now I'm finally getting to your comment, Jim. That's why you always get put in the other server, Jason. Oh, he's replying to. I get it. But how's it going, Jim? Thank you for joining us. I haven't seen you in a minute. Oh, by the way, I am going to make somebody a moderator tonight. And I think I know who that is. Let me see. I think I know how to do that. Hold on a second. Because we need a moderator in the chat. And I think... Let's see. Okay, I don't know how to do that, but I thought I did. I thought there was just that command thing. But anyways, Alona, if you want to be a moderator in the chat, let me know. I can make that happen. Probably on our next show. So I don't know what the hell I'm doing. So let me know. Raider said, I wish I could remember. I'm not an RPG player, so it was probably puzzle or racing games. Hey, sometimes a good racing game, just keep driving. That's why they say, go out for a long drive to kind of clear your mind. I think you can get that same feeling in a racing video game. So I could totally see that working. Let's see. Scan through. Let's see. Or George said, or you could just call me JP. You know what? That actually makes a lot more sense. Because you're JP and the other's JR. Or GR. I'm sorry. GP. Jeez. I can't even talk. Alonia said, where's David? He's sick. He couldn't make it tonight. He is under the weather. He has been under the weather all week and just dealing with some stuff. So I am here to keep you and everybody else entertained, which I'm probably doing a very terrible job at that. Well, when I say entertain, I mean, we're talking about something serious right now. So I'm keeping everybody's attention focused. That's my job right now. Don't worry, we'll talk about some fun stuff soon. But yeah, so just to kind of round it out, I'm going to read some of the comments that were on the Facebook page, because every Friday on the Balanced Gamers Facebook group, I do ask, hey, put in some comments or thoughts or whatever, something you want me to read on the show. And anybody can comment on these, but I specifically make these posts for ones who can't make it on the show, because I want to include them, because some are on the other side of the planet right now. It is ridiculously late for them and they can't watch it live, and they usually watch it after it's aired. So this was a way for me to kind of get them in the show while not actually being there, so they have some involvement. So I don't think any of those people left a comment, though, but that was one of the reasons why I put it there. Let's see what we got here. Okay, let's start with Carlos. I'll just say the first names. Carlos said this: I do believe games have a big impact on well-being Wait, I'm sorry. I do believe games have a big impact on well-being on different levels. It offers an escape valve for relieving anxiety, anger, other negative emotions, or other negative feelings and emotions, allowing you to step out of yourself and experience something different. It also can deliver pretty strong positive emotions on more story-driven experiences, which is why I mentioned Mass Effect, which if anybody in the chat has not played the Mass Effect games, play the Legendary Edition of Mass Effect. Skip Andromeda, but play those games. Anyways, we get back to this. Okay, so positive emotions on more story-driven experiences or by giving a sense of accomplishment. It is also an avenue for interacting with others and build friendships. On physical well-being, it also has effects like reaction time improvements, cognitive increase, memory, and some games can help you exercise, like some games on the Nintendo platforms or on VR. And then you have the likes of Souls-like games that are made to bring forth anger and frustration, LOL. Just kidding. Yeah, he's absolutely right with a lot of the things he mentioned. Exercise games, I think, are very important. I don't think people play enough of those. Now, you can exercise the brain playing something that really makes you think, like a puzzle game or whatever the case may be. Maybe it could be something with a lot of tactics or whatever. Not to say other games don't make you think. It's just there are other ones out there that makes you think even harder. So those are very good, and they do help with a lot of that. As for, exercising, of course, there's VR, and if you don't have a virtual reality, you can, if you like to dance, you can get into the Just Dance games. Some of those, I've never played one. Come to think of it, I might have a Kinect copy of just one of the Just Dance games back there, because I have a 360 Kinect now. I know that's old tech, but I like messing around with old 360s, PS3s, and all that stuff. I could try that. I don't know how I'll feel. I'd rather just play Beat Saber at that point, because you have to kind of move yourself along with the music. So that's probably the closest I'm gonna get. But that is a very good suggestion. I do think adding more exercise games in your gaming time is not a bad idea. Or you could just go outside and play some sports, I suppose. That's the ultimate physical exercise games, is actually engaging in a sport. But if you can't do that, there is a lot of options in the gaming space. But that was a good comment. Thank you for leaving that, Carlos. Let's see. We got George. This is George R. This is George V2, who did the giveaway tonight on our page. Again, thank you for doing that. He said, I don't think I ever struggled. Let me read that again, because I'm literally, it's written right here and I'm reading it wrong. I don't think I struggled ever with mental health. To be honest, however, when I first played Grease, I think that's how you pronounce it, I was so moved. I had just had my first kid, and the game, its palette, the mystic sincerely moved me. My wife even loved it and would sit next to me watching as she loved it as well. Great game for those that appreciate the artistic side of things in games. I can agree with that, because I did play a Grease not that long ago, and it is one of those relaxing, well, there's a few puzzles in it that might frustrate some people, but overall it is a very relaxing game. You have I would put it in the same category as Journey, if anybody remembers that. Abzu, that's that game. You have the diver in the water and swimming with all the fishes and the whales and all that, the dolphins, the seals, and it's literally just it's just a pretty game to look at. So Grease is one of those games. It's very pretty in the artistic style that they chose for it. Very visually pleasing on the eyes. So when someone's looking for one of those kind of games, I always recommend Journey, Grease, and Abzu, and I will even throw in what was it called? That Swan game. It's called something Swan. I can't remember the name of it, but it's also another relaxing game. Flowers is a good one too. I believe that was made by one of Sony's teams. It was a Sony game, which they don't really make small games like that anymore, but that's another one that was pretty good. Anyways, let me get back to the chat, and then I will get back to the other two comments that are written in on Facebook. Let's see. What are you guys saying here? No, I don't have any kids. No. Not married. No kids. Mm-mm. I do not have that. Let's see. Next is... Okay, Paul, you said you do it from the settings, your dashboard. Oh, okay. I'll have to figure all that out later. I'm terrible. Let's see, George V1 who joined the movie, or was that V2? That was V1, which, yes, we will be talking about the movie we watched this week, the Resident Evil film. So we'll be talking about that shortly. Probably directly right after this. Let's see. Oh, cool. Sure. What do I need to do? It's something I have to do on my end alone. I will make you a moderator. I'll do it later. I thought I could do it from here. I think I can do it from here. I'm just spazzing out when it comes to a lot of this OBS and Twitch stuff. I'm still learning a lot of things, and the fact that I even have like this screen up is more than enough. It's acceptable looking, but I'm proud to at least have something I whipped together last second. So I'll pat myself on the back for that. Let's see. Oops, the chat's going. Let me move this a bit. Well, I'm sorry. Let's see. I missed a few of these. How's it going, Master Jones? How's it going? Thank you for joining the chat. Thank you for tuning in and listening to me babble. And, we were talking about a lot of stuff earlier. If you want to go back and listen to it, you can when we're done here, because it will be a VOD on our channel for a couple weeks. But now we actually download them and post them on our public Facebook page, not the group, the public one. So I'll have to do that when this is over. I will download it and post it there as well if you don't want to watch it on Twitch. Let's see. Wow, you guys are keeping me busy, man. Look at this chat. Look at this. I apologize if I missed one or two. Even some of the best streamers, they don't catch all of them. So I apologize if I missed anything. Let's see. Jason said I don't want to be a moderator. You don't have to be. Who said I asked? You. I don't want to be mean. No, you don't have to be a moderator. How did movie night go? Jones said. Oh, it was good. It worked. Everything functioned, and and nothing broke down. I will get into that shortly because we're going to talk about the movie here in a bit. But let's see. How did you know you were going to say my name? How did I know you were going to say my name? Okay, so you could tell I am behind on the chat a little bit because some of these are old. Hope David feels better. Yes, I will. I hope he does as well, because it's better to actually have someone to bounce off of when you're doing this. It's a lot harder to do solo. I've done it a couple times, but it's not easy. And the biggest issue, it's not that I don't have anything to talk about. That's not the problem. It's you have to consistently talk throughout the entire duration, which means your voice is going to get more drier than usual, and it means you have to drink more, and which is what I'm doing right now for all you audio listeners. I'm drinking. So yeah, you can tell my voice is, well, it's actually the tired voice more than the I'm thirsty voice, because I didn't get much sleep. Like I said earlier, had a bad leg cramp when I woke up. It wasn't fun. So, I had a hot cup of tea before coming on, but that didn't soothe the throat. I think next time I'm going to put honey in it. Maybe a cough drop or something in there to kind of really lubricate the throat so I don't have to get raisin throat. It's funny, when I do solo episodes the next day, wake up, my voice is kind of mildly shot. It's not like I can't talk or I have laryngitis, but it's just my vocal cords aren't used to talking that much consistently in a long period of time. No. You eventually do get used to it, but yeah. Anyways, I'm going to go back to the Facebook comments. We have 2 more that I wanted to read. Let's see. Hold on a second. I thought I saw a fly flying around me. Sorry. I'm seeing. I got floaters in my eyes, so I do see shit. Let's see. Alonis left a comment and said, I'm a paraplegic and bedbound 24/7, with the exception of doctor's appointments and holidays, when family comes over to help my elderly parents get me in my wheelchair. That's not long since I get bad hip pain when sitting. So gaming helps with depression and loneliness, and to make friends. That's everybody redeem hydrate, make Mike take a pee. No. That's the worst time for me to read that after what I just read. Yeah, I mean, you guys can keep hitting hydrate. That's fine. Go ahead. Let's see. I mean, you're gonna get the B-Ray back screen eventually if you keep doing it. So, no, it takes me a while to take a leak. So, I got a big bladder. Anyways, yes, Alona. Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot to deal with, and I'm glad that gaming is keeping you in a positive, focused mood, and I do think that I know the kind of games you play. You like to play a lot of cozy games, so. For those who don't know, cozy could be classified as like Animal Crossing, pretty much the vast majority of Nintendo games that are out there, because I think most of them are cozy, except for like a Metroid or a Bayonetta 3 or something. But for the most part, they are designed to be relaxing. Then again, some might argue Animal Crossing is very frustrating because you owe that raccoon money or whatever. I've never played it, and you have to constantly keep working. You're working and working in that game, so maybe that's not a good example, but it does have that cozy look to it. So there's that. But yeah, that is yeah, that's a lot. I mean, I'm sorry you're dealing with all of that. That's even though we have these conditions, it's, like I said earlier, and I'll say it again, one of the best things you could do is keep the noggin busy, keep the head busy. If you like to do a lot of reading, do you like to do a lot of writing, gaming, whatever it is, keep your mind occupied on other things, because the more you dwell on, because I have like, I can get really bad spasms in my stomach, intestinal area. Like it can really hurt at times. And you know what the last thing you want to do when you feel any sort of a pain? Now I understand there's certain pain levels where you can't ignore it. It's going to be there. But if you have some sort of a pain tolerance, one of the best things you can do is to not think about it. Thinking about it, because while the pain's still there, thinking about it is going to, whether it could be physical pain or just something that's on your mind or whatever the case may be, thinking about it is just going to make it worse. It's going to make it worse. It's not going to make it feel. It's not going to make it feel better thinking about it. So when you don't think about it, at least your mind can be focused on something else. Doesn't eliminate it, but it does. Because I know if when I get migraines, if I get a really bad migraine, the last thing I'm going to do is think about that migraine. I'm going to try to close my eyes or whatever and try not to think of that. And I know that's kind of hard to do when there's like a on the side of your head, but yeah, I can't stress that enough. Like I understand like there's certain things you can't ignore, but like I said, it will help a little bit. Just keep your mind focused on other things as much as possible, and that will hopefully ease the pain a little bit. So I'm sorry what you're dealing with that. The last comment I'm going to read, that's from the Facebook group, is from, which one was it? Jessica. Okay. So this was the probably still in the chat. We were just talking about you're legally blind. So I'm going to read what she said. So I'm legally blind. Games help me focus my eyes. They twitch constantly and blur. And since I can't drive, I rarely go anywhere. So they help with boredom / depression and anxiety / loneliness. So we kind of already touched upon that earlier. But I'm kind of curious. Well, I would like to know more if you're willing to talk about it. What kind of games do you play? What is it also? What is, if you're comfortable saying, you don't have to, but what is the level of your condition, the state? Like, how much of the games can you see? How much of it can you see? What is like? Is it more of a you need to see like really bright colors, bright flashes to kind of see what's going on more? And if it's like a dark game, like if you're playing, throw one out into the field. Amnesia. Amnesia is a very dark game. That series is very dark. You're always in the dark. You're in the dark tunnels, and you have the little torch. You got to walk around and trying to figure out where to go. It's one of those, I'm in a room, I don't know where to go, what do I do kind of games, and then you kind of figure out there's little things hidden and around here and there, and that will make you advance to the next areas and stuff like that. So it's one of those kind of games. So yeah. Okay, you said I play JRPGs. This is Jessica replying in the chat, by the way, for those who are listening and not watching. I play JRPGs and RPGs. I have 2200 vision. My optic nerves didn't connect to my brain right, so it always kind of blurred. I'm about 5 inches from my screen at all time. I can't play dark games really. Okay. All right, so you play a lot of JRPGs and RPGs, so I'm just going to assume you like, maybe you don't like these, but do you like Dragon Age and Mass Effect and those kind of RPGs, Witcher, and Cyberpunk? It's another one. Cyberpunk's a very colorful game. There are some sections that are dark, but that's a very colorful game. There's a lot of lights in that, neon lights and all kinds of stuff like that. Yes, I like those. Final Fantasy, Baldur's Gate, etc. FPS is harder for me. Okay, yeah, that is an FPS, Cyberpunk. I think they do have a third person mod. I know they have a VR mod. So if they have a VR mod, there must be a third person mod, because there is a character model. You have a character model. I mean, you select it in the beginning of the game. So like, I'm pretty sure there's got to be a mod for that. There has to be. So you probably can play that in third person on the computer. But anyways, I'm sorry. I don't want the chat to go by too much. Let me catch up with some of these. I just saw George V2 said he has not played Mass Effect. That kind of just it's literally like one of the best sci-fi universes ever created in the video game universe. I'm not going to say in everything, because that's pretty bold to say that, but when it comes to the video games, that is one of the most unique universes I've seen in the sci-fi realm. I would literally put Mass Effect up there. I'm not comparing content, I'm comparing the richness of a universe and how deep it is, I would probably put Mass Effect up there with Star Wars, and Star Trek, where it has these massive, insanely large universes with planets and lore and stories, all rich throughout the entire, for so many years, all these stories that have been written. I put Mass Effect in that category. While there doesn't have as much content written, but the universe is as big and lived in as those in some ways. Well, maybe. Yeah, I'll stick with what I said. Yeah, I do think Mass Effect is in that tier of sci-fi universes, and if they do bring out a show, that will, if it's good, I could see that really exploding. But we'll see. Let's see. I'm a lot of stuff in the chat. I see, Mike, I'm going to say my name to you in FB Messenger audio so you can pronounce my name right. Oh, I've been saying it wrong this whole time. Okay, well, I will listen to that later, and then next time I will say your name correctly. For now, I will say it incorrectly for the rest of the stream. Let's see. Animal Crossing rules. Let's see. I love reading. Alona said, I love reading, but can't afford books, and the site I use to get books from went to premium. I recommend, I know you get Amazon Prime from time to time. Check out the Prime books that are on there. There's a lot of free ones. Some real good ones too. So on the Kindle, all that. Yeah, check those out. All right, so I read all of those. Final thoughts basically with this topic is, well, I think I've said my final thoughts already, but I'll say it again. No matter, especially when you're a gamer, like if you're really dealing with whatever it is you're dealing with and you need that escape, gaming is there to kind of help with that. And I've said it 1,000 times and I'll say it again. It's always better to be distracted than to dwell on whatever it is that's bothering you. And gaming is a perfect option for that. But it doesn't have to be video games. It could be literally anything. Literally. Like somebody may get that escape or calmness by just, I don't know. The only thing I'm thinking of right now is like a hobby, like a collecting hobby. Like, hold on, let me get this. I think I showed this once a while ago, but it's the only thing I have near me. Here's a figure of the mummy. I'm a big figure collector. You may have noticed over here, if you've watched previous streams, a lot of it's empty. I've been packing stuff away in storage because I eventually plan on getting a proper like glass display thing so the dust stops hitting all of it and it really annoys the shit out of me. But so there's a lot of expensive figures in this section alone. I have been putting them away and making sure the dust doesn't eat at them anymore. But anyways, so this is one of the things I like to do. I like to see if you can see that. I don't know if it's showing up in front of the camera, but for all you audio listeners right now, I am showing a figure of one of NECA's action figures. It is the Mummy. This is the color version. This came out, I want to say a year ago. This is part of the Universal Monsters line. Really like this line. I have the Mummy. I have the Wolfman over there. I have Frankenstein. And they made a bunch of other ones. They have the Invisible Man now. They have a couple different Draculas, and this is a really, really cool line. I've always liked collecting NECA. This is one of my favorite things to collect. All this right here, this section was heavily filled with NECA, but all this right here is NECA. So I have like hundreds of their figures, and let me put that back on the wall. It is that's something that I like to do. That's not gaming related. So yeah. You said we need a room tour one week. I will, once everything is like set back up again and I have things in a fancier place. Yeah, I will do a tour. I'll do a video and just post it on Facebook, I guess. I would post it on Instagram, but I think there's Yeah, there is a limit of how long a video can be. So if you want like a long video, yeah, it would just be Facebook. Maybe I'll post it somewhere else as well, but I don't know. I'll have to think about that. But yeah, um, let's see. Paul, you said I have the Mass Effect games. I should play them soonish. Yes, please do. That's a good 90 to 130 hours. That trilogy. Easily. You could probably get more, but like easily that. Each game is around 30 hours. That's not including the DLCs. I think the DLC is going to pad more of it. So, yeah. You said what's on your walls? Oh, these are just, what do you mean over there behind me? Those are all figures. It goes all the way around. Yeah, it goes like here all the way up here and then all the way around. So this entire thing here, which you can't see, is kind of just tilted up there. See how that goes all the way around? That goes all the way around like in a circle. These are Back to the Future figures up there. You can't see it in that corner, but yeah, I'll do a room tour at some point. Or when I get a better camera, how about that? Because this camera sucks, and I have old phones and they don't have good cameras on it. So I used to do the YouTubes, did a lot of toy reviews. That's why I have a lot of stuff. So a good portion of it comes from that, the old days. Anyways, let's move on. Let's move on. We've talked about the main topic enough. I know. So the next thing I will bring up is the movie we watched last Friday, the Friday that just passed. That was the Resident Evil Death Island. That's the subtitle. Now, yeah, so we watched it in VR, and as quite a few of you already know, maybe some of you are new and you don't know. On our Facebook group, we have a VR Friday night movies community thing. So if you have a Quest, or if you have a Steam, not Steam, a PC VR headset that you can run through Steam and all that, you can download Big Screen Beta, and that allows, because there's cross play between the Steam version and the MetaQuest, the MetaStore version of that app. Everybody can go into a virtual room of a theater. It could be a theater or different environments, whatever you want to pick, but we usually pick the Grand Theater. You go in there, and everybody's literally sitting around in the theater. You could pick your seat, and some of you want to sit up in the front row. I don't like that at all. I don't know why people want to go down there. I think it's terrible to watch a movie like this. And you're just doing that for you audio listeners. I am moving my head left and right. Because if you've been to the front row in a movie theater, that's what you're going to be doing the entire time. You're just going to be... I can't do that. I hated it. Absolutely hated it. So I usually sit way up. But anyways, so this last Friday we did a vote in the community. It was Resident Evil, Death Island, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, and True Lies, I believe is the other one. And Resident Evil won by a landslide. So that's the movie we watched. The week before that, it was supposed to be Southpaw, but we had technical difficulties, so that didn't work. Yeah, so we watched that. Short movie, only an hour and a half. It's an animated film. It's not one of the live action movies. So it came out in 23? So it was last year. Which I can't believe I'm saying that now. Yeah, we're in 24. Jeez. All right, so yeah. So last year, that came out. Not sure when it came out. Probably in the middle of the year, whatever. And if you know anything about the franchise, you kind of understand what you're going to get out of this. It is a very similar formula like all the other stories, except they added some slight different things. I won't really get into it too much because I don't want to spoil it. But they did add a new way the virus kind of how it goes about infecting people. I'll just say that in the story, which I'll just say like there's a part where everybody's normal, then all of a sudden, one by one, everybody's getting infected, and there's no like nobody's getting bit because like in the previous portion of the Resident Evil storyline, like the one stuff before like Raccoon City and all that, like you had to get bit, like Walking Dead style and stuff like that. But everybody was just immediately turning infected. So that was interesting. It does reveal what it is later in the story, but that was cool. But overall, it is a pretty much by the books RE story. So don't expect anything crazy with it. Like don't have your expectations very high. I've always considered Resident Evil like B horror flicks, like has really cheesy dialogue, and that's fine. I actually like the dialogue, and that's in the series because I think it's hilarious. Like bad in a good way, if that makes any sense. And so yeah, so you have let's see who was in it. Leon Kennedy's in it. Claire Redfield's in it. The Chris Redfield is in it as well. Rebecca Chambers and Jill Valentine. Spoilers: there's no Ada Wong's not in it, but those five are in it, and they're following some trail, and it leads them to an island, and bad stuff happens on the island. So, and I won't get into any more than that. Ultimately, it comes down to just somebody who had to do something a long time ago, was not happy about it, and now he's now he's like just angry with everybody and just wants everybody to suffer in a way. So it's a typical Resident Evil story. So don't expect anything too new from that. But overall, it was an entertaining movie. Like it's funny in the bad ways. Like some of the dialogue is just so ridiculous. There's literally one scene. I'll say this scene. There's one scene where they're getting chased by lickers. Like a whole bunch of them are chasing them down to like a sewerage area, and it was Jill and Leon, and Jill's like, "Oh, like how many are there?" And while they're running, and Leon's like, "What do you want me to stop and count?" And then they run around a corner. Leon grabs some gas can, and then he goes back around the corner. He kicks it like a football, and then it goes flying towards him. Then he shoots it, and then he goes back around the corner and looks at I forgot who he was with. I think he was with Claire in the scene. Yeah, that sounds right. And he says 0. She's like, "What? You wanted to know how many were there?" It was like 0. It's really cheesy lines like that. So throughout the movie, action scenes are absolutely ridiculous, but entertaining and funny. Especially the final section. And as always, if you've played any of the Resident Evils, if you watch any cutscenes from the games, it always ends with somebody shooting a rocket. That's just like the signature. Like it always ends with that. So, yeah. Jones said I normally sit around the middle section of the theater. Okay, yeah. I'm more high up, so yeah. I like to get maybe like not the last row on the top, and maybe like a couple down. That's usually where I like to sit. I haven't been to a theater since 2017, and that's one of the cool things about the VR headset is you can have that movie theater experience. And for those who haven't used the VR, there's no way I can explain that to you. It literally does feel like you're in a movie theater, so it's cool. See, Jason said the last movie I saw in theaters was Barbie. That it could be my pick soon. So in these polls we do, 3 of us pick, and then the 4th one is going to be a community one that you guys suggest in the comments every week. And I believe I'll say it right now, I know what the community one's going to be. It's going to be Megan. So that's the community one. So we still have 3 other movies that me and the other 2 have to figure out. That's going to be in the poll. So that's gonna be fun. But maybe I'll put maybe Barbie will be my vote. I don't know I don't know how many votes it's gonna get, but if it wins, maybe we'll watch Barbie. So I haven't seen that yet, and I've been wanting to watch it. Let's see. Jim said, saw The Beekeeper last night. Basically, if John Wick worked for the government and retired. Okay, that's an interesting combination. Let's see. Raider said, one of the best memories is when my dad took me and my brother to see Star Wars: A New Hope, special edition. Back when you couldn't buy tickets ahead of time and didn't have reserved seats, so you had to wait in line forever. Oh, yeah, I remember those days. I think we had to. Well, you could actually buy them online in 2002 for Attack of the Clones, but I remember the group I went with did the old school way of just showing up, and just getting there. So, had to wait on a line for a little while. It wasn't anything crazy like the Phantom Menace, the night it launched or something where there was just thousands of people. No, nothing like that, but nothing crazy. But that's where they had those like major big theaters where they had to literally they had to get extra theaters in the theater to play the movie because that's how many people were showing up. So, but yeah, I remember that for Attack of the Clones, and that freaking theater was mobbed. The most crowded I've ever seen in my life was when I saw that movie. But yeah, that's an awesome memory. New Hope. I mean, I guess I can watch them in VR, and it does give me that movie feel, theater feel. But that would have been cool to see that in the theaters for sure. Yeah, that's a great one. The one I've always really wanted to see in the theaters was Jurassic Park, the original. That's one I really wanted to watch. So yeah, I'll get back to your other comments in a second. But back to the movie, it is. Yeah, I mean, there's really not a whole lot to talk about. There's not much I can really say without spoiling anything. I mean, if this was a spoiler discussion, I had somebody else on, we could throw back and forth. But it's fairly new, the movie, and I know a lot haven't seen it yet, so I'll hold my tongue on that. But overall, it is an enjoyable film. I think the critics are a little too rough on it. I was looking at some of the reviews and giving it 4s and 5s. I don't think it was that bad, but if you're going into it knowing you're going to get the cheesy RE dialogue and over the top scenes that are just so silly and ridiculous, if you got that mindset and you're coming in with the popcorn and you want that popcorn flick, it delivers on that. It does. So, I don't know. I think people are they get a little too hard on movies sometimes. I'm not saying every movie out there is amazing, great. I've seen a lot that suck. At least in my opinion, they sucked. But I understand like all the work that's involved when they make these films, and it's just an insane amount of time and dedication. That's one of the reasons why you need a really good writer. So if you don't have a good writer, then boy, you better be making a movie that's just absolutely ridiculous, and you're leaning in on that, because writing is like the crust, the core of a lot of these movies. I mean, why do we like the original Jurassic Park movies? Because the writer Michael Crichton, I think that's his name, wrote an amazing story. So a lot of our favorite movies of all time have really good writing in it, and sure, I mean, there's some I really enjoy as well that are high up there that is just pure action, no story. It's popcorn flick up the rear. So and those are just as enjoyable, and they can be just as great. But for me, at the very least, I like a really good story. I wouldn't really put that. I wouldn't put Resident Evil Death Island in that category. I think this is just a popcorn flick. Yeah, you're not getting anything amazingly engaging with the story or anything like that. It's by the books Resident Evil. So if you love that, then you'll like it. That's really all I have to say about the movie. It's just, without going into spoilers, I think one person asked me, is Wesker in the movie? No. I'll just say that. He's not in the movie. Anyways, back to the comments. Let's see. Let's see. Jessica said, I can't use VR. Is there any way to join without one? Yes. So there is technically a way. We are looking into it. Where if we play the movie on Amazon Prime, because we can, between the three of us, we have the subscriptions, and David has like thousands of movies he owns literally, and Fiverr, I was in the chat, she also has a lot of movies as well. So between all three of us with the subscriptions and everything, we have a lot of movies at our disposal. But if we want more people to come in there that don't have a VR, there is a way on Amazon Prime, at least. I can't speak for the other ones, but on Prime, they have some sort of a watch party option. Now, I think I didn't look into all of the steps and the details behind it, but there is a way to create a party in there on the browser or something. I think it's through the browser going on the Amazon website. You create the party, and then then you play the movie, and then from there, like, non-VR viewers can join, and then the people who are in the VR can watch it. So basically, the person who's streaming on their laptop, it's usually a laptop or a computer you got to use to stream the movies onto a big screen beta. The person who's doing that can also on Prime open up a party thing on there. So basically, there's like two different viewing places at the same time for the movie. There'll be one inside the VR headset, and there'll be one on the VR on the Amazon Prime browser. I think you have to watch it through Prime's browser. Don't quote me on that. I think that's how when we do set it up, I think that's how you're going to have to do it. But there is a way. So I'm glad to hear that there is a way. It's just we haven't experimented with it. We haven't tested it out. So when we get that up and running, it's going to be great. Not just for you, Paul, but Alona and others. Alona, she can't watch VR at all because it will trigger a seizure for her, or bright lights, all that. Can't do it. So I know, and there's others who want to join who don't have a VR unit. So we are looking, just rest assured, we are looking into that, because I want to make sure like everybody can join, or as many people can join as they can. I know that there's limited seats. I know in VR we have 12 open seats. 3 of them are reserved. You can only have 15. And then in I don't know what the limit is for the Amazon Prime watch party thing. I don't know. I didn't look into it. But yeah, if that doesn't work, we'll find another way, because I'm pretty sure there is ways. There's got to be another alternative way of doing it. So I know somebody suggested, hey, just stream it on Discord and then we can all watch it on Discord. No, we can't do that because of copyright. You think we're going to, if we stream an entire movie, unless it's, there's a few movies I think you technically can do it with because of how the copyright surrounding around it. I don't know which ones they are, but yeah, that's a small list of movies. So, but anyways, we can't do that. Trust me. It's if we were allowed to do that, that would have been the first solution. So that would have been, we would do that. We can't, unfortunately. So that's not an option. So yeah. Let's see. We made a mess with all the popcorn. Yes. So in the VR app, you can actually teleport in your hand props like popcorn, a drink in one hand, or you can have a selfie stick if you want to take pictures of yourself. You could throw tomatoes. You can there's even a drawing thing where you can actually bring all of these pens and markers, crayons, or whatever, and you can literally draw right in front of you. While we were waiting for the movie to start, I think it was last time, not this time, another time, we literally were playing Pictionary. We're all just sitting there playing Pictionary. I, of course, the nerdy person in this human flesh body has to immediately go to sci-fi, and I was drawing the Stargate. Took them about 15 seconds to figure out what it was, but I'm very predictable, so person who answered it got it right. Let's see. Had to wait 3 hours for the original release. This is Jim in the chat, Chainsaw. Had to wait 3 hours for the original release of Return of the Jedi. God. That would drive me nuts. Waiting that long to watch a movie. Could you imagine waiting the 3 hours and you get into the theater and then the projector doesn't work? Happens. Jones said, "Yeah, would be nice. Probably be a while before I could get a VR set again. If you want to save money, I'm not trying. I have no stocks or anything in with Meta. I think it is the best deal. Get a Meta Quest 2. It's the cheapest headset. It is a very good entry level VR headset. Is it the best headset? No, but it is very good for someone who's either on a budget or they haven't used a VR headset in a while, and or they've never used a VR headset, and very good entry level. Like that's the one I recommend. All you got to do is get a better head strap. The one that comes with the machine sucks. Get a proper third-party, nice, fancy one. Stick those things together, and you got a really comfortable headset. That's my biggest con with it. But yeah, anybody who's interested in getting a VR and who wants to, join us in the future with these viewings, get the Meta Quest 2. It's the most affordable way to get in. If you have a PC, sure, you can get a Valve Index or some other thing that's over $1,000, but just want to watch some movies with us, get the Quest 2. It'll get the job done. Let's see. Jessica said, my friends and I stream on Discord movies all the time. Oh, you could do it on Discord. I'm sorry. Did I say Discord? I meant Twitch. Someone recommended me I stream them on Twitch. I'm like, that's not happening. Discord, I think we can actually do it on Discord. That is a good option, actually. I think we can. Yeah, there shouldn't be any issues with that. If that's the case, I'll have to talk with David about that, and Sarah as well. But we'll experiment with that. We'll see how that works. I know Discord is very RAM heavy. That's my only worry. It's RAM heavy. Like it likes to take a lot of RAM on a computer. So I mean, David will be perfectly fine with that. He's got machines. He's got PCs over there that can probably do a bajillion things on top of that. But yeah, Discord. Yeah, I'm sorry if I said Discord earlier. My brain was thinking Twitch. That's a place we can't do it. We can't do it here. But Discord, yeah, that could be a very good option. Raider said, I've used Plex in the past to do group movies. Okay, so Discord and Plex. We'll look into that. Jim said, that's why we waited 3 hours. LOL, the projector broke. Oh. Well, that'll do it. That sucks. I think you've convinced me on the Meta. LOL. Yeah, I don't know if it's still $250 to Meta, but it was during the holiday season. You may want to go check. But even if it's not, if it goes back up in price, $299, I still think that's a cheap price. Much cheaper than my pillowcase covered PlayStation VR 2 over there. I do that so no dust gets in there. That one, great headset. But you need a PS5, and it's more than the PlayStation 5. And you do VR movies with that thing. So that's why you get the Meta Quest, because the Meta Quest, you can do all the non-VR shit for an affordable price. Not a perfect headset by any means, but it has its cons. But that's the one I'd recommend anybody at this point, unless you're a big PlayStation fan and you got a PS5 already. You got some money to burn? Yeah, go get the PlayStation VR 2, because that plays video games a hell of a lot better. I'm not saying it's not good on the Quest 2. Games run great on there. It's just, graphically and performance. Yeah, that's the newest, one of the newest kids on the block. So it does a good job with it. Yes. Let's see. Okay. Oh, you picked Megan, Alona. Oh, okay. I'm back and then picked Megan. Oh, you're the one who picked it in the chat. Awesome. Very good pick. I have not seen it. I know it's that robotic girl doll thing that comes to life and all that. Looks interesting. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know what the other choices are yet. Maybe one of the other choices is something I'd really want to watch.
kind of hoping that one wins. Just saying. It will be in the poll. Tomorrow I will post it. I don't know what the other 3 movies are yet. I'll figure that out later. But we'll have 4 movies. We'll vote for 48 hours, and then we'll figure out what we're going to watch on Friday. Let's see. Sarah said Amazon has 0% APR, 5 monthly payments for the Quest 2. Yes, it does. Also, you may want to check and see if they have Amazon monthly payment option. That's the one where you don't even have to use. Wait, that is it. Amazon has. No, maybe that is the one she's referring to. Yeah. So they usually have 2 payments on there. They have the Amazon monthly payments, which has no interest, 0, and then they use some company for the other thing for credit and stuff like that. Always look to see if they have the Amazon monthly payment one, because that one you don't have to worry about all that other shit. And if you do miss a payment, which you probably won't, they're a little bit more forgiving than the third party companies they have on there that they use. So it's worth keeping in mind. Let's see. If you know someone with a Plex server, we can watch movies together. Yeah. Okay, so Discord and Plex, Amazon, Watch Party. We're going to check out those 3 things. We'll work on that. If not this week, which should be this week, if not this week, we'll do it the following week. Either way, I think we can figure this shit out this month. I can at least guarantee that. I think we can figure this stuff out in the month of January. So we'll get on that. Don't worry. Let's see. Facebook Live. Yep, it's another option. Alona said there's pages that play full movies on Facebook. Yeah, but are they supposed to do that? That's the thing. Just because they're doing it, is that allowed? I don't know. I mean, I'm going to say no. It sounds like that would be a no. Discord, that's fine. I think that would be perfectly fine. Plex, yeah, that's another one that makes a lot of sense. Amazon, and then of course, like I said, the Amazon ones that have built-in features. I don't know the rules of Facebook, but I'm pretty sure you really are not supposed to stream an entire movie on Facebook. Just gonna go out on a limb and say that's probably not. It's probably against whatever policy that they have. They just haven't detected them, and they're kind of flying under the radar, probably. But who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. Jones said, I've used Discord before to watch with the group, and it worked pretty good. Yeah, Discord, I mean, we use it on the show. When there's 2 or more people, we use Discord. It's not perfect. OBS doesn't like it a lot of the time. And yeah, it could be RAM heavy on whatever device you're using, but it works. I hope there is a better way of another program we could use when we have multiple people on the show. Just a lot of experimenting, a lot of time, and a lot of research. So we got to get on that. Let's see. Thank you. I saw it. It's very good. And having a second one in 2025. Oh, you're talking about the Megan. Okay. That's right. Yeah. Sequel coming. I am, okay. Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing, Fiverr. I see you in the chat. We're of the 3 people that can't vote. We cannot vote. We're the 3 hosters of movie game night. I'm not movie game. Of VR movie night. We can't vote in the poll. It's only the rest of the other community or anybody else that's not you, me, or David. We can't vote. But I can kind of say what I may want to watch and be like, hey, wouldn't mind watching Megan. Not saying I'm trying to fix the polls or anything, but just throwing that out there. I wouldn't mind it. On Discord, you can just share a screen and not have to use OBS. You can, but it doesn't look that great. Not to mention, I have a lot more features on my end. Like a lot more features. I can mess with so many different things here that I have set up. We used to use Streamlabs. Well, not me, but the other guys who are running it. And we just had a lot of problems with it. OBS, I do like. I like that one a lot. I think I like this one a lot. It's very easy to figure out. It looks complicated, but once you learn a few things, you're kind of, you're just ready to go after that. I don't think it's more of a just I have to take the time out and add all of these things and learn stuff on Twitch. Yeah, because I'm very illiterate when it comes to this stuff. I'm not very good. So you know what? We are an hour and 40 minutes in. We need to actually address some things here. There's one thing I wanted to talk about real quick before we talk about the winner of Spider-Man and announcing the new giveaways. Has anybody been getting this lately? Maybe it's just targeted for me only, but on Facebook, every time I go on Facebook, where they show the little quick little videos that you can check out while you're scrolling down, you see some of them advertised and highlighted. Why do I keep getting guys gathering honey from bees? Going in there, cutting the combs, draining the honey. I've been getting this non-stop for weeks. That's all I see on there. I've never said bees. I've never said honey. I haven't typed it anywhere. I have not, because I can understand it if I was saying it a lot. But now I'm saying it now, so I'm definitely going to see it more because these devices listen to us. And they push things towards us, that we might interest us because we said it recently. You could say, no, they don't do that. Oh, they all do it. Trust me. All your phones, all of your devices, anything that's somewhat modern listens. And they use that data and they push ads, specific ads your way. Why do I keep seeing beekeepers gather honey? Why? But you know what's funny? After seeing all of those bee videos, what did I do? I got a thing of honey. So clearly it works. Because I kept seeing it. Well, I've been wanting to have honey in my oatmeal for a while. I didn't say that to anybody. I didn't publicly say it. I didn't type it anywhere. It's almost like the algorithm knows what you're going to be thinking next. And that kind of terrifies me. On so many levels, that terrifies me. That I was thinking about honey. I know I didn't say this. And I started getting honey ads. If there's some sort of a technology that I'm not aware of that kind of can read brain patterns and thoughts, I'm starting to believe something might be out there at this point. Unless the algorithm is like predicting what you're going to think next. Maybe, okay, you've been based off all, this is most likely how it works. Based off all these things you like to do and all these foods, it kind of tries to figure out like, okay, this is probably going to be the next thing. And it just hit the nail on the head. The nanobites in your brain, yeah. Nanobites in my brain. That's exactly it, Jessica. No, yeah, of course. Oh, by the way, thank you so much for the subscribing with Prime 87. That's awesome. I don't have notifications on right now. I know we're really bad at having alerts pop up. We're going to be working on that and getting all that stuff up and running. But I did see that. Thank you very much for doing that. That's awesome. Because, by the way, any subscription that we get goes right back around to us getting games and giving them out to people, whether it's through the Boundless Gamers group, Steam Deck enthusiasts, some of you are there, or just finding random people who could use a game or want a game or needs a game, lift their spirits, do a lot of that. So all of that, I don't pocket any of that at all. It's the measly little bit that we get. It goes straight back into what we're doing because, like we've said before, we are becoming a gaming charity. Officially, maybe sometime this year. Paperwork and all that. That's a lot of work, but that is the plan. And we have a lot of people in the background that we can't mention that are definitely happy that we're doing that. Very happy. So. And it's something we really wanted to do for a while. And I think it's not just about giving away games. That's one cool thing we'll be doing, but we really want to help other, communities out there, the actual charities. Like, I don't mean like we'll be technically labeled as a charity, but like actual real charities that are doing really hard work and really trying to make a difference. We really want to bring more awareness to those, all of them. So, and there's not a whole lot of there are a good amount of gaming related charities, but it could be more. So we want to kind of jump in with all of them and help them out, do what we can, help them, and then actual major charities as well. Like one I definitely want to bring awareness to is cystic fibrosis and many other ones. So we're going to be doing that. But thank you so much though for that subscription. And he said, let's be real here. This isn't the worst thing Facebook could recommend you. You're absolutely right. 100%. It's not the worst thing, but it's weird. It's weird. And I just was on Facebook earlier and I saw more of them. And they're not even the same videos. It's not even the same videos. It's new videos every single time I'm seeing. Brand new ones. So, I mean, they're cool to watch. I'm trying not to watch them because I know the more you watch them, the more I'm going to see of them. But I can't get over there's one where this guy had no t-shirt, wearing shorts, and he's in there with a machete and he's just cutting the honeycombs and his entire body is covered with bees. How can I not want to watch that? So, no protection whatsoever. And he's just like casually doing it, getting stung to hell and back. It's crazy. Let's see. Okay. 87 said, I work at a children's hospital and I definitely see the impacts video games have on kids to get through their admissions. So I love everything you guys are doing here. Yeah. Thank you. I really appreciate that. And you know what? Frick us for a second. What you're doing is amazing. That is really, really amazing stuff to work in places like that really need the help. And one thing I will recommend people doing, he's saying, you were just saying about a children's hospital. A lot of these children's hospitals could benefit having a video game console. And I know there's quite a few of us. I think David has done this. I plan on doing it when I get some, when I retire some of these consoles that I'm using, or if I have some extra ones I find at yard sales or whatever. I do plan on giving some to children's hospitals or any of those kind of places that, that could use it. So, I mean, a lot of these kids go through some really intense treatment, and having a game console there, and just once again, going back to distractions. I said this earlier when we were talking about, I don't know how long you've been here, 87, but earlier in the show, we were talking about all of this, the mental wellness and how video games can really help, and how it's helped people over the years, and just when they're going through a lot of serious things. But back to what I was saying, when those kids need a distraction. Not the pain's not going to go away. The treatment with the side effects of those treatments are not going to go away. But having that distraction makes them not think about it as much. And that's just that little bit is enough for them to have some joy, little bits of enjoyment in life. And I think if anybody has, like, if you have, I know there's people who have closets full of consoles. And, okay, that's fine. I mean, hey, if you want to sell it, that's cool. If you want to give it to a friend, that's cool. If you need systems as backups, that's fine too. There's nothing wrong with any of that. But there are people who literally have tons of consoles and just sit on them and don't do anything. Give them to a children's hospital. Let somebody else use it. Like, the last console I gave was to a friend who really needed it. So I gave them, when I got my Xbox Series X, I didn't sell the Xbox One S that I had. I gave it to the dude I knew. He's like, they couldn't afford a new console. I was like, you know what? They have an Xbox now. This was going way back when the Series X came out. But like, here, have an Xbox. Controller, have fun. Have fun with your family. Play it. So, like I said, like, if you're not going to sell it, or you're not going to, if you're a collector, I get that. I'm not saying, hey, collectors, unload all of your stuff. No. I'm not saying that. But I know there are cases where we do have these machines that we can spare. We can definitely spare them. We can give them away. Aloni said they had video games when I went to the kids' hospital. The adult hospital needs video games too. Yeah, all of them. Perfect example is Jacques, co-founder of Boundless Gamers. You'll see him in the near future on the show again. He's publicly said this. I know he's open about it. He has cystic fibrosis, and when he was growing up, he had to do all those treatments in the hospital. And he was able to. I don't know if they had it. I think they may have had it, or at least back in the day. I think he said he used it. That's 64 there. And then when he got older and he had to go to the hospitals and stuff, he would bring his Xbox 360 with him, and they had supplied the TV and all that stuff for him to be able to play while he was doing his treatments. So yeah, I mean, it's not. I mean, kids, of course. I always see, my mind always goes straight to the kids first, and but this really applies to anybody, really. I mean, could you imagine a hospital, like hospitals, or especially places like a children's hospital or really big places, having an entire inventory ready to go with consoles and stuff like that? Like, hey, if there's like some person who's I don't know, like just whatever treatment they're going through, I don't, something serious or whatever, maybe you pull out a Switch, you know what I mean? Like, pull out a Switch and hand it to them, let them play it while they're sitting there having to hours doing this thing that they shouldn't have to deal with. That's, give them that out, give them that escape, give them that minute of enjoyment, of distraction. That's one of my biggest things for this whole topic we had earlier, is just distract yourself. Distractions doesn't always work, but it is one of the best things you can do. Let's see. 87, I just want to point out that these kids have siblings that are also there to support. They also need a distraction. They all need a distraction. Everybody in that, like, if an entire family, here, I'll paint you a scenario. Entire family. Let's say there's a child going through chemo. Entire family's there. They're all in the room. And you know what? I don't like, and there's nothing wrong with this, but me personally, I just, everybody's sitting down watching the person in their bed when they're visiting, talking and stuff. That's fine. But sometimes I know the person in the bed doesn't want to go through that. And like, it's like being the center of attention. Everybody's staring at you. Oh, like, hope you feel better. Here's a gift and stuff. There's nothing wrong with that. But, maybe in some of these situations, have a game console there. Imagine having a television there. Like, let's all sit down and play, I don't know, like Mario Party, Super Mario Kart. I mean, it could be any game that has some sort of a local co-op component to it, but you get my point. So, like, have that set up there, and then everybody can laugh and enjoy yourself. It's another way of doing it. But I have visited some people where it was like so depressed, like they were depressed. We were all depressed. And I'm just like, I didn't have it with me, but if I could, like if I had a Steam Deck or something with me, I'm like, let's hook this bad boy up and play some shit. Like let's get, I'll bring all the controllers. I'll bring every control. I got Xbox, cause the thing about the Steam Deck, great, or any PC handheld for that matter, being a portable device, is you can bring that with you, hook it up to get the dock, hook it up to the TV. You can bring every freaking controller that you own that has Bluetooth. You bring the Nintendo Switch Pros. You bring the Xbox Ones, the Series, the PS5s, the PS4 controllers. You will have, and you find a game that supports a bunch of people. Yeah, you can get that shit up and running. So, yeah, but maybe donate some games, donate some consoles with games too. Even if it's old consoles, it doesn't have to be the latest, brightest, newest thing. I mean, it might be cool if it is, but it's not so much what machine it is. It's just the machine, just having a machine there. You want to hook up a PlayStation 2 for one of these kids? Well, there you go. I mean, maybe probably better with something wireless, maybe. I don't know. But they have those PS2 cords are pretty long. You get extensions and stuff like that, but it could be PS2, PS3, 360. Except don't bring the white one that red rings. Let's not do that. Let's not bring a console there that has a known problem with it where it could just completely just brick itself. So I mean, if you're gonna bring a 360, bring like an E model. If you have an extra one, like of course, if you have an old Xbox 360, that's fine too. I mean, all these systems still need to have they have life in them, but if you do have an E or an S, an Xbox 360S, those are the ones that aren't going to red ring. So they definitely won't. But yeah, just it's gonna make you feel. It's also gonna make you feel better. It really will be. I don't. Alona said, "I'm not even going to try and spell his name." LOL. Jones said, "Gaming for kids is a great outlet. It certainly is. It did for me when I was growing up, and I know it did for others who I knew who were sick where I was playing with them." It's like we almost went back around to the main topic, but don't worry, we're going to be ending in a few minutes because I know we've been going on for a while, and I am going to announce the Spider-Man giveaway winner. I know I wasn't supposed to announce it this late, but sometimes you just let the wind take you and see where it goes. So, but yeah, it is. Yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, I played with kids who are sick when I was a kid. And I could tell you right now, just seeing their, from what I remember of their face playing something, and they were pretty sick. It's like, it was almost like it was like in that moment, in that little hour or whatever, they just weren't even thinking about it. And that's priceless. You can't, I mean, like you can't take away this particular kid, you can't take away the pain that he was going through, but this was a physical pain thing. But you could distract him. Should have called this Distraction. The title of this, Distractions. Yeah, because that seems to be where I keep going with. But that doesn't always work. So, but it's worth a shot. 87 said, I had a patient who had an Xbox. He was unable to speak because he had a why am I having a hard time pronouncing? Oh God, it's getting late. So now I'm going to butcher everything I see here. Tracheostomy. Forgive me. I'm terrible when it comes to grammar. So forgive me if I read half the shit wrong tonight. We played NHL and Star Wars Lego on my break. He couldn't say anything, but he was just so happy someone was playing with him. Yeah. That's another thing. In those situations, the game machine may be enough. The games that they're playing might be enough to play by themselves. That may just all they need. But there are times where another person being there may be what they really need. Maybe they want to play with a friend. So, not me. I'm a loner when it comes to gaming. Like I prefer playing video games by myself. But I know there are there's kids in particular out there who, like the video games, that's cool and all, but they want to play with somebody. That's why online Fortnite and stuff is so popular. And you got to be careful with that. You don't want kids playing with random people. Certain people can be. We had an entire topic about that a couple episodes back. You can go back and listen to it. But yeah. But my point is, they want to have a friend to play with. A lot of the time, from my experience, what I've witnessed, yeah, that's totally true. Jones says, yeah, that's why I say that. It worked wonders for me as a child to the point where I still do it and will as long as I'm able to. That's awesome. Jason said, I've been lurking and watching foosball while listening. Well, enjoy your football. Oh, so that helps someone breathe, that thing. Okay. Okay. I pictured it in my head now. Okay, I know what it is. Okay. Guys, the human body, man. The human body is so fragile and frail and weak. And I know a lot of us are in the chat now. A lot of you guys in the chat dealing with something. I'm dealing with something with health. I know David. It seems like the entire Boundless Gamers roster has a medical condition as well. I mean, everybody seems to have something. There's not many people I've met where they're perfect in every way. And what I mean by perfect, I don't mean like everything they have in life is amazing and they're rich and all. No, I mean like nothing, no depression, no this, no that, no this, no that. Like I don't really meet those people. I'm sure that those people out there exist where they're literally perfect in every way and their bodies are. Are you okay? Wait, what's going on? Oh, are you okay? No. I have. Are you asking like my condition? No, I've always had a horrible stomach since I was a kid. Intestine problems and digestive. There's most foods I can't. A lot of foods I can't eat. I don't want to say most foods. A good majority of them I can't eat really anymore, and I get migraines because of cysts on my brain. I've mentioned this before on the show, so like that kind of just knocks me out of my ass sometimes. So, yeah, it may not look like it. You're watching this, like you look fine. No, trust me. When me and David are doing the show, like David's in pain, and there's been a few times I've done the show. Believe it or not, I was having some severe stomach problems. Hit it pretty well, didn't I? But there's been times. Yeah, this is a battery in my hand, if you're wondering. Yeah, I've been twirling that around. But there's been times, yeah, I didn't feel good on the show. So it's okay though. You know, we all deal with our shit. We move on and try to cope with it, and we use gaming to help in a lot of these cases. But anyway, oh, George said, you know my condition, Mike, SVT. Yeah. Yeah. Is it an Energizer battery? No. This is a shitty Kodak battery, Jason. It's not a good battery. It's like the shit ones you buy at the store for like 20 in a pack for $3-4, like those kind. I was literally, I got a few of these because I was testing one of my 360 controllers recently. So I know it wasn't going to be good long term. I just wanted to test it. So shit batteries do, I mean, these batteries are fine if you're putting them in like a remote controller or a clock or something, but put them in anything serious, shit, garbage. Sarah said, how does your beanie fit over the headphones? It's a really big beanie. It's big. It stretches. I know this is a really big headset I have on. Like it goes all the way up and around, but I got a big one specifically for this, so I can put it over my head like that. Anyways, I think we're getting near the end of the show. We've been going on for 2 hours. So what I'm going to do is I have two things real quick we're going to do. First thing is we have to reveal the winner of that poll, the poll that George V2 posted, where he had a bunch of Sony games, and he was nice enough to want to give one of these games out to one of our members in the community, which is absolutely awesome. I'm so happy that he did that. He did that before, and he did it again. He's a really cool dude. By the way, there's another game of his I have right now. It's one of the 2 giveaway games that we'll be doing this coming week. One of them is actually from him, believe it or not. It's just a coincidence because I picked this game a couple days ago, and then he messages me a few hours ago telling me about the Sony poll thing, and I'm just like, wow, this really cool person. So, let's see. All right, so I have the name here. By the way, I am going to pick 2 people in the chat tonight to get a game. And I know some have said, take these games and save them for other people you want to give them to, reach out to, whether it's on Twitch or other communities or people who really need it. We have a lot of games. We have a lot of games for that. Trust me. So I don't mind giving a few games in the chat, on the show, or elsewhere. It's perfectly fine. That's how many games we have in the tin. And this is just the Boundless Gamers tin. We're not talking about Steam Deck enthusiasts. That's a whole other thing filled with games, hundreds of games. Most of them are reserved for Steam Deck enthusiasts, but there are a few who said you can grab some of those and give them to somebody who may be in need of a video game elsewhere. So a lot of games, so don't worry about it. Anyways, so the winner for the Spider-Man Miles Morales game, I don't think he's in the chat tonight, but Jonathan Tedoroff, if I'm pronouncing your name right. Jonathan Tedoroff. You won Spider-Man Miles Morales. So wherever you are. He doesn't know yet, but he won. I'm going to reach out to him later and give him the game. But that's not all. That's not all. We got some more stuff for you. Like I said, I got some other games related things. But congratulations, Jonathan. If you listen to the stream, or if you are listening to it right now and you're just lurking, well, say something in the chat. But you're probably not here. So he won Spider-Man Miles Morales. Fantastic game, by the way. One of the best. I'd say it's the third best Spider-Man game ever made. And what are the other two? The other two Insomniac games. That's just my opinion. But if I had to rank them, third's Miles, second is Spider-Man, the first one remastered. And I do think the latest one is the best Spider-Man game I've personally played. And I've played all of them since 1998, except for maybe two I didn't play. But I've literally played the vast majority of them. So when I say I think this is the best Spider-Man game I've ever played, Spider-Man 2, the new one that came out, has some weight to it because I played probably over 30, 35 Spider-Man games to completion. I'm a Spider-Man fanatic. Has nothing to do with because of modern graphics, just the entire game, the package, everything that comes with these Insomniac Spider-Man games. These guys are fantastic. Everything they do with this series is amazing, and I'm so excited that they are working on X-Men games in the future. They have the Wolverine game coming, and then of course, unfortunately, that leak that hurt them. It sucks that happened. I wish that it would never have happened, but we found out that they are making an X-Men game. 2029, but it's good. 2030 or whatever it was. It's going to be a way off, but they do have an X-Men game coming, and I cannot wait to get an X-Men game from these guys because these guys know what the hell they're doing. But anyway, Jonathan, congratulations. You're going to be playing Spider-Man Miles Morales. If for some reason he has it and he doesn't know a friend that he wants to give it to, we will get another member to get the game. So we'll know soon. But yes, the next 2 giveaway games, I'm going to reveal them for next week in the group. I will make a post tomorrow about it. The next 2 games we're going to be doing, and then we'll announce the winners on next Sunday show, is going to be Little Nightmares 2. This one also came from George V2. So Little Nightmares 2, Steam Key, that's coming. That's going to be one of the games. The second game is Injustice 2 Ultimate Edition. I think that's the full title for it. Yes. That is the DC fighting game made by the Mortal Kombat guys. That, in which it sounds like we are getting a third one. So hopefully it gets announced this year, but it's been leaked. They have there was in the NVIDIA leak that it's Injustice 3 and it even had a subtitle. So hopefully we hear more about that soon. But yeah, Little Nightmares 2 and Injustice 2. Those will be the next 2 giveaway games. Now, before we go, I'm going to pick a couple of you guys in the chat to win a game. Now, I don't know what game it is yet. And what you're going to have to do is message me. Message me right now because David's not feeling well. Message me either in the Facebook group. By the way, I'm Mike. I'm Michael. I'm sure some of you already knew that. I know I should have said that earlier in the show. I'm terrible at remembering this stuff. I am Michael in the group, one of the admins, the main admin, or the 2 main admins. There's 3 main admins. Actually, I don't want to rank anybody here. I'm in the admin staff. Okay. Message me and say, hey, I was the one in the chat, blah, 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 blah. Tell me which games you like. I will find something in the tin. I guarantee it'll be a good game, at least a good game. I'll find something in the tin that you may like, and then if you want the game, I will send it your way. So I'm going to pick 2 of you guys because I have a lot of codes to give out for the next couple days. Steam Deck Enthusiasts, there's 18 winners. If you're on that page, Steam Deck Enthusiasts, you should be. We do giveaways there like all the time. I have to go and contact 18 people there for those giveaways games. Anyways, so I'm only going to limit myself to 2 here because there's a lot of messaging I'm going to have to be doing very soon. let's give. Oof, I hate doing this. I could put all your names in a thing and randomize it, but I don't want. I'm too tired to do that. All right, I'm gonna go. I know I gave you a game earlier, but you're new with us. I want to give you another game, Jessica, if you're still here. That's Puppy Paw. So Puppy Paw, I'm gonna get you another game. And I know this is with your condition, you can only play certain games. So kind of give me a list of what you can play, and I will figure out what we have, and or you can, yeah, just give me some suggestions of like you said RPGs and stuff like that. But yeah, we'll see. We'll figure that out. But message me later or tomorrow, preferably tomorrow, and I'll get you a game. So that's the first one. The second one I'm going to pick is... Let's go with some different names this time, because I know some of you have won games before. Let's go with 87. OV 87. I want to get you a game as well. So contact me in whichever you prefer. Facebook, the Facebook private group for Balanced Gamers is probably the best place to message me. But if for some reason you're not in the group, you can go to the Instagram, Balanced Gamers. You can DM me there. You can also DM the Twitter. So whichever one you feel comfortable with. Twitter, there might be a chance I may not see it because I'm pretty bad with Twitter. But yeah. So same deal for you. Tell me some, not now when you message me, give me some genres and type of games you like to play, and I'll find you some. And I'll guarantee it's at least a good game. I'm not going to give you a piece of shit. We do have piece of shit games, but I'm not going to give you one of those. Those I kind of just throw around like pennies in the street. If I give somebody a game like, you want this too? He's like, yeah, sure, why not? There you go. But I will never highlight Garfield Kart in a giveaway. That's never going to happen. I'm never going to stick Garfield Kart front and center in a spotlight. That game sucks. So we're not. I have plenty of copies of those. Not those games, but something good. Yeah. Oh, it's not Twitter. It's X now. No, we're not. We're not getting into that. It will always be Twitter to me. Not calling it X. It looks like an adult app on my phone now. See an X, a black thing with an X on it. No, it doesn't. Anyways, it's over 2 hours, and my voice is shot, if you haven't noticed. So, thank you everybody for joining just me today, for the Balanced Gamers show. We do this every Sunday, 9 o'clock p.m. EST time. So I apologize for you overseas listeners, but if you want to get involved in the show, guys, the ones who they can't stay up because it's too late for them, leave comments in the posts I make on Friday when I ask about, hey, you have any thoughts? You want anything you want me to say on the show? Blah, 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 or whatever. I may be asking for a specific thing, but it doesn't have to be about that specific thing. Leave the comments there. I know you're listening. Leave them there when you see those posts. That way you will be involved in the show, even though you're not here live, but we'll read the shit live. So that's what happened here. That's why I read some of those comments before earlier in the show about the main topic. That's what some of them did. Most of them are actually here, though. So, but for those who keep saying, man, I wish I could be involved in the live shows, leave the comments in those posts. Get stressed out. Then I will 100%, me or David or whoever else is on the show, we will get to them in the show one way or the other. But yes, thank you guys. I see I'm scanning through the chat real quickly. Yeah, no problem. Thank you for joining me, because if the chat was empty, I would be just talking to the future listeners, which is fine. I used to do YouTube videos and there was nobody there. So I just arrived here a bit ago, but glad I got to watch a bit of the live show. First time in chat. I don't know you, but Nibelheim, if I'm pronouncing that right. We are getting late, so I'm butchering names left and right now. I apologize for that. It's awesome to see you in the chat. Are you from one of the groups? Facebook, Steam Deck Enthusiast, or are you just someone who just popped in? Let me know. Always love seeing new names in the chat. But yes, guys. Wait, I'll finish your comment because hold on. Haha, no worries. You got it right. Yeah, all the groups. Oh, you're in all the groups. So you're partaking in everything. Get a little enthusiasts, Balanced Gamers group, the show. You're just going to the sample section and just eating it all. I appreciate that. All right. Well, maybe next time we'll talk a bit more. Commented there on the post to participate. Oh, okay, sweet, awesome. Well, thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us. I'm glad you got to hear some of the show. So that's awesome. But next week we are gonna have a guest on. It's gonna be Cobra Girl. I already shouted her out before. I will shout her out again. Why not? Let's try that. Let me shout her out. 1 second. Once I figure out what the hell I'm doing here. Okay. Let's see. I will shout her out. Really nice person. Has a lot of energy. Energy that I could use because I'm always running on like 3 hours, 4 hours of sleep. But there you go. Definitely give her a follow. She will be on our show next week. And I believe David will, well, hopefully David will be ready for next week because he's not feeling well. And I really hope he gets better. Just a rough week. We all have those weeks. And when that happens, then I have to, do it solo. But you know what? Did a pretty good job for the most part. I don't know. I'll probably go back and watch this and everything was jacked up. The sound was messed up and everything. Who knows? But, yeah. So, all right, guys. I'm going to sign out now. Please follow Cobra. Thank you, by the way. Thank you, Nibel, for that Prime subscription. That's awesome. Thank you so much for doing that. Yeah, I'm tired. You can tell I'm just tired. All right, guys. Thank you again for joining. We'll see you next week. You'll have a good one. Stay safe. Play some games. Distract yourself. Be good. Stay healthy. Bye-bye.